Hello everybody and welcome to the final race of the season in IRL Season 12. And believe me, have we got a good race on our hands today. For this is the championship decider between Alfie Ollie and Brandon Glover. It comes down to 7 points between them in this final race. Round 15 has been a long season and it all comes down to this. Let's not forget about the 2 points that we have for pole position and 1 point for fastest laps, which could make all the difference today. Even if it's a 1-2, Brandon Glover on top, Alfie Ollie in second. If neither of those two get points or pole, fastest lap or pole, then I believe Brandon Glover will take this title on wins alone. So this is a big race. This means Alfie Ollie has to get pole position or fastest lap if he wants to finish second, with Brandon Glover coming first. So it's very exciting. We're just going to have to see what happens. Bahrain is a great track for some lovely side-by-side racing. Plenty of straights to get some DRS slipstream. Go overtake on the inside, outside, anywhere. So this is a perfect choice for the final race of the season in these night lights of Bahrain. Coming on board Luke who's directly behind Lewis ahead of him. So he's going to get a nice little bit of slipstream. Maybe the teammates today are going to try to employ some tactics for this qualifying session. So there's already Yale flying in sector 3, which is lovely to see. We love to see it. Anyway, it's my first commentary in like, I don't know, 2 seasons for this league, so I'm very excited. But Luke coming into the first corner, sticking in second gear, coming up to the second DRS straight there. Is that a corner cut? No, he just about keeps it on, activating DRS. Second one out of 3, I believe. Yes, 3. So this next corner, quite tricky. You have to get the entry right, otherwise it kind of all goes wrong. Quite easy to lock up your brakes through there as well, I find. Coming into this S section, again a tricky part of the circuit, at least for me, as it goes very far out wide. You don't want to go out too far wide, otherwise you hit that curb and you just get sent to space, into orbit or anything. Anyway, on the exit of the corner again, a little bit wobbly. I mean, he has got traction control on, I can see, so a bit interesting. Again, this, but you can already see the locking of brakes, the black skid marks coming into that corner. Locking your brakes is so easy through that downhill left-hander. It is an absolute nightmare. Now this section, on previous games it was very easy to spin. On this corner here, if you even hit the curb slightly, you just get sent into Narnia, which is not fun at all. Into the second last corner, there you go, nice exit. It's maybe not be the best lap for Luke, but he has got a bit of slipstream off our Lewis ahead of him. Into the final corner again. We've seen a few moments on the exit of that corner. I believe it's like IRL Season 9. Me, Jared and somebody else had a big side-by-side coming through there as Luke also invalidates, going out wide on that final corner. Again, there's a lot to look out for this track. It's very technical in some aspects, with just getting your entries right, your exits right, staying on the track most importantly, as Jared sends himself into third in his Mercedes. Anyway, Kieran also in second, Lewis taking a comfortable pole position for now. Who else is out on the lap? We've got Edward. He's about to finish up on his lap now. As he comes around the final corner, he's a quick driver, so I believe I'm looking for some big things from him. As he activates his DRS, coming up to the line, he's going to go second. 3 tenths behind Lewis, despite being on mediums. That's lovely to see. But most importantly, Brandon, one of our title fighters today, gets purple in sector 2. Coming down this second final straight, coming up to the final corner is, Alfie Ollie sets provisional pole on the mediums. Brandon on the softs, coming around the final corner to activate his DRS. Where's he going to go with his first lap? Of course it's going to be pole, over a second quicker than his rival, but he is on softs. So what can we really expect? We got Paco as well. I haven't spoken to Paco in a while. Coming into the first corner. Jack Yates. Fourth corner, I believe. Into this S section, lovely to see Paco. He's an interesting man. He's a great driver sometimes when he wants to be. Also very aggressive, so he's going to be entertaining to watch. I hope he gives us something to watch today, as he always does. I have full faith. We've got Kevin Harrison, always a consistent man, always in the points. Doesn't often get penalties, so I don't know, maybe a dark horse for a podium, maybe a top 5. I don't really know. We're just going to have to see. He does love this track though, from memory. He's a big fan. Every time this comes on the calendar, he's always screaming in the parties, having a lovely time. He's a happy man. He's about to come to finish his lap in his Aston Martin. He crosses the line to go 5th place on the mediums. 3rd of the medium runners, 5th out of all of them. Lovely to see. Who else is on the lap? Let's have a look. We've got James Killer. What a lovely man. I also need to try and figure out what Bottle King's name is. Thomas. Oh, I remember Thomas. Sorry. Lots of memories. Sundry's about to begin his lap. We've got Ross Denham also behind, ready to start his lap. Matt Romano's also retired from qualifying as he usually does. A lovely, lovely man. Nice to see he hasn't changed. Edward also, he's gone for a few laps on these meetings. He's locking up his brakes through there. He's also 6 seconds down this time, so I can only imagine he's taking it easy. Or something's going on. I don't know. Maybe he had a mistake and we just missed it. Brandon pulls into the pits to wait for his second lap. Alfioli also going around the track a little bit more, warming into it on his mediums. Having a lovely time. The strategy today, I believe, might be a soft medium or a 2-stop. If I'm honest, I cannot remember, but that's okay. Also saying a yellow flag in Sector 1 is Alfioli, as we have a yellow flag as the Alpha Tower is going slowly. I'm not sure who that is. We're not going to check right now. It could be Cameron Young. I'm just checking that's actually the right name. It is! I'm so good. Anyway, Alfioli on his mediums. What's he going to do through Sector 2? He's coming up to the line in just a second after this next corner. Got 10.5 minutes to go in qualifying, so still a long way to go. What we see now is definitely not going to be what it is. Yet a purple sector again in Sector 2. I can't tell if the game is lying to me, but what it's trying to do is it's doing a bit of tomfoolery, we call it. As he comes into the final corner, Alfioli looking strong on his 3rd lap. On these same tyres, so old tyres. He's going to come up to that. Can he improve by over a second to beat Brandon Glover? No, he improves by a 10th. I was absolutely lied to. I feel hard done by here. As we have a McLaren going slowly to let that Red Bull through. Could that be Hamrick? It was Hamrick. As he then slows down to let Mercedes through, who is not... Bad boy. Hang on. He is not on my list of names. Okay, that's why I was confused. I'm not sure what his name is, so for now, Bad Boy is just gonna be called Bad Boy, I believe. I'm double checking in case I'm being really stupid. Oh, it's Ethan Payne. I'm so sorry. He was on there. I am just stupid. But anyway, Ross Denham. Here he comes through the second last corner. There's a McLaren ahead of him. He's going to get a little bit of a toe. No, they pulled way out of the way. Ross absolutely blasting down the straight, revving out of his car to the max. Coming into the final corner. Currently in 15th place. This will be his first lap set on his mediums. Yellow flag in Sector 1. As usual, we love to see it. Anyway, opening his DRS, number 27. Crosses the line to go 7th place. Ahead of Cameron Young. Kevin Harrison too. So solid lap from Ross as Thomas pulls into the pits. Edward, oh, okay, goes absolutely flying across the corner to save himself a bit of time, I guess. Why not? Go ahead. Lewis, he's on a fast lap as well, and he looks like he's absolutely tearing around this track. Look at him go. Almost go. He did go wide. Just cross that white line to invalidate his lap, but it looks like it would have been a strong one from him. You can see so far over that curb to get the perfect turn in, locking up his wheels a little bit, but a good exit. Is he going to pull into the pits? Yes, he is. It looks like it was a good lap from Lewis there, but unfortunately just wasn't to be as he invalidated. But Brandon Glover, one of the men to watch today. Currently, both of them, both of our title rivals, are sat at the top of the standings so far, comfortably ahead of the rest. I'm so excited for this race. You do not understand. This is incredible, and I hope we see some really close wheel-to-wheel racing between them. Kevin giving Brandon a toe. We love to see it. This is what I'm saying about this teamwork between teammates on this track. It's so important with the high straights, high top speed. That toe can be all the difference. The question is, will Cameron Young be doing the same for Alfioli? I can only imagine so. But I know Brandon and Kevin are good friends. They talk a lot, and they're in the same party right now as we speak, as Brandon is going to come round the final corner in 4th gear, switching up to 5th, coming up to the DRS line on his second lap. Opens the DRS and he crosses the line to improve by a further 4/10 to extend his lead at the front. Alfieri is coming out on the softs now, just pulled out the pits as Brandon crosses. This is big, this is big. We're going to have to wait and see as Sondre pulls into the pits. And now we've got Ethan Payne, he's out on a lap, except I believe, yeah, he's invalid. Let's look for somebody still. Cameron Young just having a lovely time going around. Surely he's going to pull into the pits and switch over to the softs very soon. I don't think anybody's going to be trying to start on the mediums today, but it looks like right now most people are going out for their second lap, warm into the track a little bit more, get a little bit more practice in, and then finally we have the flying lap, the final lap, the one we need to watch. That'll settle everything, and maybe even the 2 points for pole, which could be all important today. We also have a constructors fight on our hands right now, as Aston Martin and AlphaTauri, of course the two respective teams in the championship fight, again also split by 7 points. So 7 seems to be the lucky number today. Do either drivers actually have a number 7? And we have a number 2 and we have a, and wait and see, and he's anywhere. Common number today. 7 is a lot of people's favourite number and a lot of lucky numbers. A lot of lucky numbers. A lucky number. So that's exciting to see. I don't know, conspiracy theorists, you go ahead and tell me. But yeah, those two are clear of everybody else in the drivers and the constructors. Both teams. It's currently Aston Martin though, leading the constructors unlike the drivers, which is Kevin Harrison and Brandon Glover. Again, that's what I said before. Two close friends, two close teammates. Clearly, Kevin is a hard-working man for his teammate. Believe me, I've been his teammate before, and he'll do anything to ensure a good drive from the both. So these two, if they can remain consistent, everything will be good. But Cameron Young and Alfieri are ridiculously fast pair. You have no idea. It's stupidly quick. So these two can easily snatch away the constructors from Aston Martin today, just as Brandon Glover could snatch away the driver's title from Alfieri. Speaking of, after just setting purple sector 1, Alfieri is coming through to the end of sector 2, flying through these corners, right on the edge of those curves, coming through this absolute killer turn, so close. You can just tell that he's above the rest with his perfect lines and perfect exits. Absolutely lovely to see. It's a joy to watch. If he completes this lap, yeah, I'm sure we have time to manage to get all the way back, riding the curb as he comes into the final corner. How does he pit up against Brandon Glover as Edward Hart goes into second place, just behind Brandon as Alfieri goes 2/10 quicker than his rival and 2/10 quicker than Edward Hart in his Alfa Romeo. So Alfieri looking strong, but Brandon also looking strong himself as Lewis puts himself up into third with a strong lap. Lots of people in the pits right now, but very, 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 very shortly, in just about a minute and a half time, we're going to be seeing the first cars coming out onto the track to set their fast lap. The most important lap, as the track is most rubbered in, is most likely to be the fastest lap we will see. And it all rides on that. If you invalidate your lap, there is a high chance of you dropping down. So this could be very, very important. If Brandon makes a mistake on his lap, it's all over. And Alfieri, if he stays where he is and nobody can beat him, he will get 2 extra points to put himself 9 points ahead of Brandon, which means Brandon has got all the more work to do, even if he gets fastest lap in the race and he finishes first. With Alfieri finishing second, he will not get the championship, and it'll be 1 point in between it. We haven't seen anything like it since the likes of 2007 with Kimi Räikkönen, Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, and I cannot wait to see it. One of my favourite seasons ever, of course, Kimi Räikkönen, my god. But anyway, Alfieri, you can see somebody ahead of him, except this is his in-lap, so I don't know why I care. Most people coming into their in-laps, a couple of out-laps now. Cameron Young, I imagine he's going to set a time and then give a tow for his teammate. We've got Ethan Payne ahead of him, as well on his out-lap. Ross Denham out, James out, Hamrick out. The rest sitting in the pits just to wait a little bit longer for the very, 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 very end of qualifying to set the fastest possible time in the perfect conditions that they can find. So as we get into the final 2.5 minutes, the intensity ramps up. I can only imagine that hearts are in mouths today for both, especially Aston Martin and AlphaTauri, as this is probably one of the biggest races they will experience in their racing career. It doesn't often happen, it comes down this close in a title fight, but today we are being treated to something rare and something beautiful, and it's fantastic. Just wait until the end of season highlights. It's going to be incredible. I'm hoping they give us a great race today. Then when we're on board with Ethan Payne, he's going to come into the final corner to begin his final lap of the race. Except as he crosses the line, he would have time for 2 laps if he wanted to, but it's not recommended on these softs as they will wear out relatively quick, as of course there's the softest tyre. He's also the first one to begin his lap as our Paco is currently going very, very slowly. Anyway, back to Ethan Payne as he comes into the final corner. He's got the Alfa Romeo ahead of him, possibly giving a bit of dirty air, but it will give him a tow as Ross is ahead of him. The yellow flag is taken to people just let each other pass. Ross seems to be going slowly in front of Ethan. This could be hindering his lap time unless he gets out of the way, especially through here with the dirty air. That is not what you want, as it is crucial to be either in front of somebody or far enough back that you can actually go through the S section cleanly. As Ethan is all up the back of Ross, but he's just not moving out the way. He's just kind of there. I don't think he's even on a fast lap. He's not. He's on an out lap and he's just there. He's going to give him an extra tow down this straight. But Ethan is well and truly being impeded as it goes. Surely he's got to move. Why is it Ross moving? What is... Okay, there you go. Right at the end he decides to get out of the way. Except that's hindered Ethan's lap as he had to go up the inside. You don't want to make an overtake during qualifying. That's just not it. So he might have to go for another lap on these old worn softs. So that might have really, really hurt Ethan's chances of doing much in this qualifying session. So as Ross waits up for Edward to give him a tow, he's hindered somebody else's lap time. But Brandon Glover, he's on his fast lap coming into this S section. It's important he gets this right, and it looks like he does. He goes right onto that curb, coming into this again tight, slow corner up in 3rd gear. Gets the exit, it looks good for Brandon. Looks like he's, I'm not sure what he was in Sector 1, but again, my least favourite corner on probably all the tracks. It's just awful, it's not fun at all. He's got some yellow flags, a bit of traffic ahead of him as he comes into turn something. Puts it in nicely, 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th. Coming into this uphill right-hander, Paco moving out of the way. Brandon Glover takes a nice line, riding the curb into the second last corner. He sets a purple Sector 2 on the curbs again. Got lines, he blasts down this straight. The setup for this track is pretty high, straight 9 speed of course, but you have to have enough into the corners. As he comes into the final corner, Brandon Glover, what's he going to do for his final lap time? It looks like it's going to be good, a 26, maybe even a 25. He goes 26 flat, 1/10 quicker it says, as Alfioli stays ahead of him. This is so important. Unless somebody can break that gap, if Edward Hart maybe can beat Alfioli, then Brandon Glover could be in trouble here, as Alfie will have to finish 3rd or below and Brandon to win for him to get the title. Alfioli anyway, number 29, coming into the second final corner himself. Qualifying is over. He's gone out very, very wide. Alfioli, is he going to be able to keep this lap time? He just stays off the track. He keeps it, and he's abandoned his lap, it seems. It looks like it is no more as he comes into the final corner, locking up. Alfioli does not improve. Edward pulls into the pits, and it looks like Alfioli takes pole position in Bahrain, crashing over the line. He takes 2 points to go 9 points ahead of Brandon Glover. Whoa, this gets even more intense. Alfie taking a strong qualifying, but only 200ths of a second in front of Brandon. Brandon couldn't quite find that little bit to get in front of Alfie. It's big. It's big. This means Brandon has to win, and Alfie has to finish 3rd for him to take this title. As qualifying is over, let's run through the grid very quickly. We've got Lewis in 3rd, we've got Edward in 4th, we've got Hamrick in 5th, and a good qualifying from him. We've got Thomas in 6th, Jared in 7th, Ross Denham in 8th, Ethan Payne in 9th, Sondre coming in a comfortable 10th of final of the top 10 on the mediums as well. So lucky him. Cameron Young coming in 11th, Paco 12th, Ross in the 13th, Kevin on the mediums in 14th, James 15th, and then Luke and Matt Roman are not setting a time in this qualifying session. I'm also going to run to the toilet, so I manage to commentate all the way through the race. See you soon. Okay, and so we begin the formation lap as we have Alfioli leading the grid to warm up their tyres. There's already a big gap between Edward and the people behind Hamrick, slowing everybody down. Actually, no, Hamrick is absolutely miles behind everyone. I know he's doing a little tactic to get his tyres warm at the end of this formation lap. Cheeky man. But all eyes are on the two in front. This is the most important race of their lives, most likely, to get this IRL F1 title after seasons in past have been dominated by Matthew Older. Now he's gone. It's all down to these two to take the top reins in IRL F1. As Lewis looks like he's almost going on the inside of Brandon. We love to see it, but this is big for both teams, as Kevin finishing behind Cameron Young. But let's remember that Aston Martin are the team in front right now, and Kevin is actually his first ever league race in Hockenheim in F1 2019 or 2018. He came from 18th on the grid to win the race. So that is something to look forward to. Kevin charging up the grid. But let's not forget Cameron Young, a very quick driver, starting in the prime position, not having to start on any old tyres. You love to see it. The man looks like he's got it all sorted out. There's only two. Actually, Kevin starting on the hards. He's doing a one stop today. So that's going to be interesting as well. He'll be slow off the start, but Alfioli is coming up to the end. It looks like pit stop strategy. Soft, soft, medium, or soft, medium, medium. Looks like it's predicted by AWS. We'll have to see it. As I take a sip of my drink to prepare ourselves for the start of this all-important race, as Alfioli trundles up to his grid spot to take charge of this race. Matt Romano lining up at the back in his Alpine. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the nerves are high, hearts in mouths, as we're about to get underway for round 15 in IRL F1 in Bahrain. The engines begin to rev. The 5 red lights are on. And they're gone, and we are racing in Bahrain. Alfioli looks like he's off to a good start. Brandon Glover managed to keep up with him. No, Alfioli is absolutely gone down the straight already. Brandon moves over to the inside to try and make a move over the inside. He goes for it, except Alfioli keeps it. He's racing side by side with Lewis. No, he goes through the second corner, keeping second place. Lewis sits in behind Edward Hart, having a little bit of a drop back after he fights people into the first couple of corners. Now McLaren looks like he's going up the inside of the Red Bull into turn 4 as well. Can he do it? Thomas, he manages to get the move on Hamrick. Lovely stuff. Edwards stays in 4th, but these top 3, it looks like they're already pulling away. It's Paco Suarez into P9, as Ethan Payne as well, getting past Cameron Young. Kevin's still sitting down in 14th, so up at the front, it looks like Alfioli is already taking command of this race, as Luke is going slowly. Why is Luke going slowly? Holding up aspect as well. Sorry, Kevin, as he goes up behind Jared. Can he make any moves? No moves being done already. Luke dropping back again. Has he got damage, actually? I cannot see. But he is definitely going slowly, holding some people up as Kevin gets past Jared, coming down this 3rd straight. Can anybody fight back? It doesn't look like it. Anyway, people already setting in as James gets past Luke at the back. His Luke on his hards just seem to not be working for him right now. Just not quite going well for him. It's a bad start for Luke, but at the front it's a great start for Alfioli. At the front, comfortably leading this entire first lap to come across the line. Brandon, he's going to be all over him today. Desperation will take place, I'm sure, at the end of this race. Lewis sitting behind Brandon, doesn't look like he's close enough for a move, but Hamrick looks like he could be close enough for a move on Thomas. He's going up the inside, breaks late, makes the move. Can he hold on to it? Thomas, he's still trying, he's going to be on the inside for the second corner. It looks like the Red Bull, oh, when they touch, Hamrick is off. He's gone almost into the wall, but he keeps it. Only losing a couple of positions to Ross and Sundre. Lucky man. Lucky man. Sundre leading the way on his mediums. Leading the medium runners. It's looking strong for him so far in his Ferrari. Very good stuff. But Hamrick just bumping wheels as Paco slips up the inside of Ethan. Good stuff from the Spaniard. Cameron actually dives down the inside of Ethan. There he goes, pushing him out wide just a little bit. Cameron couldn't do anything about it. Had to concede the position, except he gets him on the run. Still going side by side of these two. We got Cameron on the inside. Ethan trying to hold it around the outside. Almost bumping wheels, but Cameron Young What a move. What a move. Just about keeps it as Ethan is, oh, going wide. That could be an invalidation, a warning for him as well. So penalties could take shape in this race as well. Let's not forget that it is quite easy to run out wide in a few certain corners. Already running low on the ERS as he tries to go around the outside into the final corner. He's going to have a run. He just tips into the back of his car. Hamrick behind Sondre as well. Looks like he's going to try and take a move, except Ethan, again, just switching places. It looks like Cameron Young just has that little extra straight line speed as Jared is weaving, trying to find a place past either of these two. On the inside goes Cameron Young. Oh, a bit of wheel bang for Jared Fosbury. Just trying to find any position he could with his teammate, fighting, just bumping wheels and losing himself a bit of time. But as Ethan goes, oh, touches the back of Cameron, desperately trying to get past the medium runner on his superior soft tyres. Incredibly close racing, some would say too close. As he's to bump the wall. Oh, it's hit off to the wall! A big crash for Ethan Payne. Could that be a safety car? Oh my goodness gracious me! I've never seen a crash that big on that corner. Virtual safety car only, as he absolutely hikes his car into the wall. Just getting out a little bit wide, hitting that car, but like I said before, it will ping you if you're not careful, as he absolutely smashes into the Armco. That'll be a massive crash. Oh my! That was huge. That's the end of that Mercedes runner's race. Not helping him and Jared's run in the constructors, as they're 10 points behind the Williams runners, but no threat to them behind. But goodness gracious me. This gives us a chance now to relax and look to the front of the grid as Alfieri, again, just in front of Brandon. It looks like it is comfortable at the front. As, Edward Hart gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. A big mistake for the Alfa Romeo runner. That means Thomas is going to get himself to move up one singular position. Same with his teammate, Ross Denham. A big mistake from Edward there. That's not what we expect to see from such an experienced man. As, hang on a second, Kevin looks like he's fighting with somebody. It's James. James at the back. He's going to try and switch back on him. He has a run on his hard tyres. The mediums, of course, they could be better on exit, except just got that straight line speed on James. He's going to go up the inside, the number 6. Oh, James holds it around the outside. This is great racing. Coming into this S section. James stays ahead on the exit. His medium, his softer tyres, just ahead of those hards, edging him out. Kevin, he's quite far behind the people in front, so if he wants to get points today, it's going to be quite difficult, as Cameron makes a move on Paco before this downhill left-hander. Lovely stuff as Paco just taps him up the rear to remind him that he is always there and he will try and fight back to this position, except Cameron is a quick driver, let's not forget. So, will Paco be able to get close up? It doesn't look like it. But a little bit further forward, Ross Denham, he's behind Thomas. And it looks like he'll be trying to line up a move coming into the big main straight, start-finish straight, if he can get close enough to get DRS. Oh, he has already got DRS, but he can get enough slipstream to slip up the inside and make it an outside, depending on where Thomas decides to place his car. DRS being enabled, of course, most overtakes are going to be done with DRS today, but let's not forget, exit the corners are the most important bit to get a run on somebody else, so that's a very important thing to look out for, as Russ is just going to breathe. Oh my god, I just realised calling him Russ. Come on, but it goes up the inside of Thomas, except Thomas fighting back on the inside. Oh, it's a flush slide for him there, as he still comes back on Kieran Spears. I'm so sorry for calling him Russ this whole time. Goes up the inside still, he's holding on to his position, keeps it as well. Lovely, good move, even if I was getting his name wrong the whole time. I feel so bad, terrible comment for me. But Edward Hart with his drive-through penalties all over the back of Lewis, trying to find himself a move, can't quite do it. Just sticks behind him for now, but on this next straight he's got the DRS, but again Lewis has got DRS ahead of him as well, as he's within a second of Brandon ahead. Doesn't look like any moves are going to be made for now. Anybody further back trying to make anything? It looks like it. Here's Hamrick up the inside of Thomas. Thomas dropping another position, is he? Or is he going to come back, coming up the inside of this right-hander? Very hard to go side by side through here. It's a big risk, except it looks like he's taking that risk and he keeps the position. But now let's not forget that Sondre Sohaug, he's looking strong today. He is all over the back of Hamrick. He wants this position as he's fighting hard on the mediums. still the leader of the medium runners, but Paco and Cameron behind him, putting him under a little bit of pressure, I imagine, as Edward pulls into the pits for his pit stop. And hang on a second, Brendan Glover's gone round the outside of Alfioli into the first corner, side by side into the second. Who's going to come out top? It's still Alfioli there, except Lewis. He's all over the back of Brendan, literally inside him, underneath his car almost. He's going to be on the inside of this next corner. He's ahead before the corner's even done. Looks like Brendan didn't have DRS coming down that straight, so that's dropped him in a position which is not good, as Kieran Spears takes it up the inside of Thomas. He's going to be fighting back. 3-second time penalty for Luke Red as well, as this is close racing already. Brandon dropping into third. This is not going to help his title fight at all. So Alfioli looks like he's commanding this race, but this top three 6 seconds ahead of the fighting cars behind. Just very close racing. Alfie is going to be under pressure though, considering he doesn't have any DRS right now, nor slipstream. There's not even lap cars at this stage of the race for him to get a little toe off, just to keep himself slightly ahead. 100% ERS though for Brandon, 76 for Alfie, and 65 for Lewis. So it looks like Brandon's going conservative at the start of this race. Are we going to be seeing them going for a 1-stop or a 2-stop today? So strategy, undercuts and overcuts could also be very important. As hang on a second, it looks like Kieran Spears has spun up the uphill right-hander. He's lost the car, almost getting collected by James as well. That was very close. No safety cars or anything though. Dropping back after having a strong start to this race, he just drops a little bit further back, hurting his chances for Alfa Romeo not having a good race today. A drive-through and a spin means that currently, if the race finished like this, they'd have no sort of points, except Sondre, but looking to make a double overtake. He's gone 3 wide into the first corner. Number 27 goes up the inside, out the outside for the second corner. Is that spin almost side by side? Paco taking advantage of Hamrick. The softs against the mediums looks like they're coming into shape now. Hamrick is going to try hold around the outside, except Paco touches Sondre, knocks him out wide. Hamrick almost 3 wide again. He's on the inside. Paco really pushing him onto this curve. Paco holds the inside as Hamrick just can't find anything, except here's Cameron Young. He's looking to go. Big crash in the back. That's Thomas in the wall. Somehow doesn't lose his wheel. How is he managed that? That is lucky man. Cameron behind Hamrick now. Intense already for these first 7 laps. I'm screaming, I'm going to lose my voice by the end of it. Incredible. As Paco is really pushing Hamrick to the edge there. Hits Andre and all, as he dived up the inside in his bid to take 5th position. Absolutely incredible. As he Hamrick pushing Paco up that hill as well. Ridiculous stuff. On the exit, can Hamrick do anything to Paco? Again, Cameron's just going to sit and watch. Hamrick pulling over to the inside to try and make this move, except it doesn't look like it's happening. It's all going to come down to this big straight. Hang on a second. No! He has gone up the inside, hindering his exit though. This means Cameron Young is going to take full advantage as Paco pulls over to the inside, and he's going to try and push Cameron. Just this little bit coming to this first corner, but it looks like he's in front already. Can there be any moves? It's the Red Bull on the inside. Paco is sandwiched in between. Almost a spin from Hamrick. He keeps it. There is a spin. Paco 2 off into the grass. Paco keeps it just about, except our Hamrick is off into the grass, losing many positions. He drops outside the points, except the racer gets it over. Kieran Spears dives up the inside, so close to James on his worn softs. He keeps it. He wants that position. He fights hard and he takes it. Except now, Paco ahead of him after his little spin. His sides are a little bit overheated. He's gone for the fight. Crash damage, spinning. Almost collecting, but how has he kept that on the track? That is a fantastic save. But the Alfa Romeo's also fighting, spinning. Kieran Spears getting damage, same as Paco. James too. Carnage. Except Paco looks like he's come off worse. I know exactly what he's saying in that party that I cannot say on stream for the fear of my job. As Edward, he's fighting Kevin Harrison now. Kevin Harrison, he's in a strong position for his constructors fight, so he's going to have to hold on to his position as hard as he can, as Edward is all over the back of him, as Matt Romano overtakes Paco at the back. Kevin actually pulls over and decides not to fight. He decides that holding the time to cars in front is more important as Lewis gets ahead of Alfieri in front. Kevin Harrison looks like he's having a conservative race today. Doesn't look like he's trying to fight too hard for his positions, just wants to stay consistent, stay clean, not get in any trouble. Can Alfieri mount to come back on Lewis? Doesn't look like it coming to that corner. Brown still sitting softly in third as a couple of overtakes are made as Kevin gets back in front. Actually, wait, no! Oh, Edward is pushing it very far out wide there. Kevin tried to come back for his position coming down the straight, but doesn't quite manage to do it as Edward just pushes him out wide that little bit. Paco and jumping James in the pits and Kieran. Lovely to see as a few people had to pull into the pits as they had massive damage, and any sort of damage on these cars will just hurt your race so hard, and it's so hard to come back if you have damage. You have to pit, change your wing and beg for a safety car. Except Alfieri is right on the back of Lewis, but Brandon behind him, also on the back of him. So right now as it stands, Alfie is of course leading the championship with Brandon behind him, but it's a little bit closer as it stays here. Brandon has to be in front of him, but for Brandon it looks like he has to take the win today unless something goes dramatically wrong for Alfie. It doesn't look likely for Brandon at the moment, but again, we've still got 20 laps of this race to go, so anything can change as Alfie's going to be trying to get this first place off Lewis. Hang on a second, Edward is retired from this race. Can Alfie get this move done before there's a potential safety car? It looks like he does. Brandon going to try and go around the outside. It's the first corner. Lewis stays on the inside, a little bit of wheel. He takes that position. Brandon on the back of him with the GRL safety car here, but Edward comes crashing out of this race. Lewis, he's going to go around the outside. Brandon has a perfect view. Alfie cannot, actually no, he can. He gets the exit on Lewis, side by side into the S section. No, it's a safety car. Too late for Alfie to take that lead back. This is also perfect for the soft runners as they can now pull into the pits and just get a free pit stop pretty much. Brandon couldn't quite take advantage of the fighting ahead of him as Edward Hart retires and brings out a safety car. Admittedly comes out a little bit late, but it decided to have a little bit of racing for these front runners. Lewis leads this race, Alfieri in second, Brendan Glover in third, but Sondre Sorhaug with an incredible start. Let's see how many positions he's gone up, a whole 6, but Cameron Young as well. The medium runners starting strong, but the biggest gainer today is Matt Romano, of course, starting from the back. But from the people who did set a time in qualifying is Kevin Harrison, moving up 7 positions, cutting his position in half to come into 7th place on his hard tyres. Kevin starting strong, Cameron starting strong, Sondre starting strong, but Lewis Samani started in 3rd, moving up into 1st position with these front runners fighting really hard, staying so close to each other. They had a 10-second gap before the safety car came as they all pull into the pits now. Would there be any jumping in the pit lane? No calamities on the entry. Now let's see. All pit stops are always 2.6 seconds, but you never know, maybe there could be a release that could go perfectly for someone. If we see Brandon put on the medium tyres, it could be a 2-stop from him today. Everything stays the same as they all pull onto the mediums. Nothing different there. Jared as well, taking advantage of his free pit stop. Kevin Harrison too. It looks like everybody's going to be pulling into the pits today. Matt Romano included, Luke and Thomas leading the way. So all the people who had massive accidents earlier on in this race, there's plenty of spinning and plenty of damage caused, plenty of costs for the teams as well. Kevin actually dropping a few positions under this safety car pit stop. Actually only one. Looks like Hamrick gets out ahead of him there, and Thomas, as he blasts past, having only pit very recently, he moves up into 7th. Kevin drops down 2 more. Luke pulling out of the pits, dropping another position as James gets past him. But as I was saying, the people who spun earlier, like Paco and Kieran Spears here, they are able to finally catch up back to the pack after being over 40 seconds behind, so it's an absolute godsend for them. They're still within the chance of points as Edward Hart throws this race into the stratosphere. 11 laps gone, 29 to race. What's going to happen in this second section of the race? Who knows? Everybody's kind of on an even playing field at the moment. As Sondre's going to go for the 1-stop today, moving on to the hard. Same with Cameron Young. So the 2 medium runners looking to go for a definite 1-stop today. Others looks like they're going for a more likely 2-stop. So I believe Kevin has decided to switch himself over to... I don't think the medium's can go that long to the end, so it looks like Kevin switched himself over to a 2-stop. Softs to the end, it looks like, for him, unless anything changes. As Lewis is revving the hell out of his car. There have of course been some complaints about this Aston Martin safety car being a little bit too slow. I wonder if there's any of those complaints today. I doubt it is fine. I do find it funny how the safety cars are always going absolute hell for leather, and all the F1 drivers cry about it behind. But only one penalty in this race so far, and that's for Luke. I'm not sure what the warning situation is for some other drivers, but it all looks clean and consistent for everybody for now, as James passes Matt Romano as Matt pulls into the pits off his softs. Which is very interesting. See, is he going on to softs? No, moving off of them. Straight off already after only being on them for a lap under the safety car he pulls in for the mediums. Will he be overtaken by Paco Suarez though as he comes down this straight? I don't think he will be. He's got to be relatively close. But Romano actually gets overtaken. I thought he was much closer to the pit line than he was. Paco Suarez moving himself up out of last position of the remaining runners. Into P13 he goes, no points awarded sadly, but the people ahead, there's still plenty of opportunity to fight as these crash drivers, we'll call them, Kieran and Paco, back together on the track again once the safety car goes in and they catch up to the grid, which they're only a couple of corners away from doing. So will we see more calamities for Paco, or will we see absolute dreams on his hard tyres? We'll just have to wait and see, but again, I believe this car will come in this lap, as we've been under it for about 3 laps, I believe, as Matt Romano and Paco catch up at the back. So again, intensity, when will Lewis go? It's a very close start-finish line, so there's plenty of straight for Alfioli to take his lead back, but again, also Brandon Glover to mount a overtake opportunity perhaps on Alfie or even Lewis himself. Could even see 3 wide, we never know. It all depends on the restart. How well of a launch can Lewis get compared to Alfie or Brandon? We're almost halfway through, a couple of more laps. Safety car is in this lap, the lights are off. Lewis is going to hold up the pack as everybody starts to wiggle to get all the last little drops of heat they can into their tyres. As that is all important. I feel bad for Paco, Sundry and Cameron on those hards because they're going to be stone cold. Stone cold. And they're going to be so slippy. Might even see him spin off the restart because I know I've done that all too many times. But Lewis, he's tracking this field so slowly. Only 70 kilometers an hour. He don't even go that fast on the motorway. Look at them, it's just all held up. But when is he going to go? Is he going to go before the corner, after the corner, mid-corner? We don't know. We're going to have to wait and look at that throttle. So NC, he's holding them. Still holding. Looks like he's accelerating and he's gone. Lewis breaks away, except Alfioli looks like he's managed to hold with him a little bit. Brandon coming across, doesn't look like he can do anything. Can Sondre managed to make an overtake, drop the championship fighter a little bit lower. He's going to go around the outside into the first corner. He tries it. Brandon, can he hold it on the inside? No, he cannot. It doesn't seem. Yes, he can. Sondre can't make the overtake though. Behind Cameron, dropping a couple of positions. Looks like he's had a mistake on the restart. Dropping a few positions down into 9th. Now James, he's going to be on his inside, trying to make this move into the 5th or 6th corner. I can't remember. He goes up the inside of the softs. Very close. Lots of touching. Lots of rubbing. As Cameron really closed the door on him there. As James cannot quite make that position stick. Kevin though, behind Hamrick on his mediums. Brings him close to everybody else. As Paco and Kieran looks like they're having a little fight back there. They are indeed coming. This is downhill, left under his hands. This spin. Is he going to collect him? No, he does. Hits him. No damage. He's very lucky as Kieran Spears spins after a little bit of contact with Paco Suarez. Paco very lucky not to get damaged off the back of that though, as he collects him just slightly. Kevin Harrison trying to make a move on Hamrick. Can he make it happen on this main straight? Of course, no DRS is going to be enabled until 3 laps after the safety car is coming. So on lap 15, we'll be seeing a little bit more of that DRS, which will help so many overtakes in this race. Cameron Young, though, on his weaker tyres, his harder tyres on Kevin, still very close. So he's still in this race, especially to get a top 10. As fastest lap is set by Alfioli at the front on his medium tyres. second position he is, and that gives him an extra point to try and keep that lead of the title that he has. As Cameron pulls up to the inside to try and make a move, and Kevin doesn't quite happen. James trying to go around the outside. He does try it. He could actually do it here, except he doesn't quite on his faster soft eyes there a bit. Warren though is Thomas. He's fighting tooth and nail with Hamrick. Going side by side. Thomas is going to try and go with the inside. Can he make it stick? Doesn't look like he, except hang on. Hamrick's gone a little bit wide. This gives the opportunity for Thomas to come back into his section. Does it happen? Doesn't look like it. No positions being gained for him on this lap. Kevin Harrison though, this gives him a chance to get a little bit closer in his Aston Martin. As it stands though, the Aston Martin team are well on their way to take this Constructors title, as Kevin is ahead of Cameron Young, even though Alfieri is ahead of Brandon Glover. Now Kevin, what's he going to do against Thomas? It looks he's got the run. His ERS taps are open. He's going to pull to the inside, except he decides to sit behind. It doesn't go for any moves this time. Kevin, oh, looks like he had a little bit of a twitch though on the exit. This means Cameron Young, the man in the Constructors title against him. He's going to try and go up the inside into the second final corner, and he goes for it. Can he do it? Kevin Harrison, a good exit. The outside line just a little bit stronger there. He keeps it, except Cameron Young is not gone. Kevin drops outside of the DRS. That doesn't matter right now, but in the next coming laps, that could hurt him very, very much. His DRS is now enabled. On the end of this straight, there will be a DRS activation zone. So if Cameron Young stays behind Kevin for this activation, then he can get the move done, as Jared doesn't even need DRS to go past Andre on the straight. There he goes, up into fourth position. But let's move back to Cameron, who does a little bit. What happened to him on the exit? As Alfieri moves into first position of this race on lap 15. Lewis can't quite come back on him. Alfieri looks strong in this race. So strong. Really commanding this championship lead. Big from him. Big from him. Brandon still sitting in third place. What can he do as Luke picks up another 3-second time penalty. That's 2 for him this race. As there's a spin, Thomas is round again. Thomas drops to the back of the grid. Doesn't look like that's going to mean anything in this race, as Lewis comes up behind Alfie. Doesn't manage to make a move just yet. Seems like everybody else behind filing in nice conservative order. Nothing else changing as we're about halfway through the race now. The halfway point has been overtaken, we'll put it. Very intense these first 15 laps. I haven't had the time to take a break other than under the safety car, and I've had a little sip of my drink as my poor throat is killing me already, as I even got a poor cold commentator to put through. It's the yellow flag as Thomas spins again. That's unfortunate. Will that one bring out a virtual safety car? Or something doesn't look right, except Lewis. He's going to try and take that lead of this race back. He pulls to the inside in the first corner. Alfie, with no DRS, can do nothing about it, as Lewis pulls in front of him under braking, except now on the DRS detection. Did he get it? He does. He opens the DRS, that flap on the back to give him those extra kilometers an hour. Does he put the inside? No moves being made by Alfie. Sits behind and accepts his place in second place. Brandon, again, just sitting, except Jared, a surprise fourth. He's moved forward after the safety car, sitting very strong. A good race from him so far, but Sondra, let's not forget, very good in his hards. As everybody in front of him will still have to pit. He will probably take the lead of this race at some point. But again, Cameron Young behind, also on his hard. Looks like they could be at a strong position for the end of this race, depending on their pace later on in the race. Hamrick coming close to Sondre, but I don't think it's close enough to try and make a move just yet. Alfieri again close. On that third and final DRS detection straight, you really do have to be close to somebody. It's the shortest one on the track and the hardest to get the exit right out of. So you really have to be close to make a proper move there, and again the corners afterwards are hard to go side by side in, so you don't want to take any silly risks that are going to hinder your race and maybe consider spinning we've seen earlier in this race, except Alfieri on this longest straight definitely has a chance to try and make a move. Except he doesn't do it yet, just sticks in the slipstream, sits behind, conserves a little bit more ERS. Brandon is behind Burning, but Lewis sitting happily on around 90% ERS during this race. So very good for him. Sondre right on the back of Jared though. Jared has no DRS. What can he do to defend this? It looks like Luke dropping 2 positions at the back. Sondre pulls the inside. Jared lets it have the accept. He comes on a switchback. What a move from Jared Fosbury. Lovely stuff from the Sheffield man. Coming up back into 4th as Sondre makes a move on the straight. Jared switches back to take that 4th back as Thomas retires from the session on a straight. How has he done that? Is that a safety car? It's a safety car again as Thomas crashes on a straight very far down the straight. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looks like he was spinning constantly and he's gone into the wall again. I have no idea how or why, but what does this mean? James Sands, I believe, gets another free pit stop in 9th place, as all softs would have been coming to their end of their lifespan anyway, so he's probably going to drop onto the mediums to the end of this race. I feel like most of the drivers now are going to sit, pull in, go to the mediums and take them to the end of this race. It could actually be softs, you know, because the softs could go roughly 10 laps, the safety car will come in 20, leaving 9 laps for those drivers to race to the end. As Lewis takes a late lunge into the pits, he comes in, Alfie follows, Brendan follows, Jared does not follow. Jared is going to try and go to the end of this race on his medium tyres. What's that going to mean for him as everybody else behind him decides to pull into the pits? Other than Matt Romano, Luke pulls in, does Paco surely on those hards? He does. Sorry. Looks like Paco will probably pull into the pits now. This means only 2 drivers have chosen not to drop in for the softs on this safety car. Matt Romano and Jared Fosbury take a risky strategy decision, because that's a long way to go to fight against these fresh softs, which will be quick. Believe me, they'll be so fast. We'll definitely see a fastest lap, I'm sure, depending on how much racing is taking place on this safety car restart. Matt Romano and Jared, how long can they hold on to these positions, and how far up the grid can they stay, considering their harder and more worn tyres? I have seen it before where people can mount an absolute incredible defence on harder tyres. We've seen it, I believe, from my friend Andreas Sass, who used to race in this league. Not in this league, but I believe it was in Japan or something. Maybe something different, I can't remember what track, but he sat on hard tyres compared to softs and managed to secure himself 2nd place after leading the race, somehow keeping people behind. But I feel like it's a little bit harder on this track, considering exits are so important. Of course they're important on every track, but this one in particular, with 3 DRS straights, meaning 3 heavy opportunities to get an exit on somebody and just blast past them down the straight. So how long can these 2 hold up? Also holding up the people behind on the softs. So they could put a split between Lewis, Alfie and Brandon, which is the most important fight on this track. Brandon's had a very conservative race. I've hardly seen him make any overtakes. Hasn't really been overtaken besides a couple of moments. Maybe he's going to take his chances late in the race, but Alfieri, as it stands, no matter where he finishes, he will be comfortable, I believe. We go, hang on, let me do maths. Because Alfie he's 9 points ahead. Hang on, wait. He's 9 points ahead, except I believe he has fastest lap as it stands. If Brandon wins and Alfie comes 3rd, then Brandon takes the title. But if Alfie takes fastest lap, actually no, even if Alfie takes fastest lap, he will not win this championship, considering Brandon has more wins. So can Brandon, in the last 10 laps of this race, on these new softs, somehow, for the first time in this race, lead the race? And can Lewis upset Alfieri to the highest extreme to finish 2nd and leave Alfie in 3rd? So it's still all down to the wire. The championship fight is not over yet. But as it stands currently, oh, let me try and do some maths. for the constructors, 7 points in it. Both AlphaTauris are ahead of the Aston Martins now. 3 points does Alfie gain on Brandon as it stands, and only 2 points, I believe, between Kevin and Cameron. So right now I believe Aston Martin is still sitting comfortably on the constructors, but I am not the greatest mathematician in the world, so don't take my words as gospel. Safety car doesn't look like it's going to be pulling. Actually no, it could be pulling up in this lap as we reach the safety car line. It is, and the lights are off. This means it's going to be Jared Fosbury. Oh well, hang on, I just realised Matt Romano's pit at some point. How'd I miss that? I was too busy trying to do maths. This means Jared, the only man on the mediums, is going to be leading this pack to restart this race for a final 10 laps. Everybody on softs except Luke and except Jared to take it to the end. Lewis, Alfie, Brandon, how are they going to race on this restart? Jared, he comes into the final corner. Surely he's going to race in just a moment. There's the half throttle. And he's away. Jared, except Lewis, it looks like he's got a good restart there. Except so does Alfioli. Alfie is all over the back of Lewis. He's going to try and take a move, except Lewis moves over to the inside. Alfie stuck behind them. Alfie moving to the inside as well. Lewis is like he's got the lead of this race. Alfie cannot make it except Brandon. He's coming over the inside of him now. Can he get in front of his championship rival? He can! He's taken 2 positions now. He's Alfioli's still right behind him. He's coming into this next corner. Brandon moving over to the inside, a big defence from him, except Alfie, he goes up the inside, a little bit of contact, he almost spins! Brandon gets in front of Alfie, coming into these far few corners. Hamrick's moved up to second now. Brandon takes the lead of his championship rival for the first time in this race. Now he just has to get past Hamrick. Alfie behind him. That was a big restart as Kevin gets in front of Jared, who's dropped very far back off this restart. No, sadly I was on onboard cameras because I end up doing that all too much. But Brandon, he's out into 3rd position. Hamrick ahead of him except Lewis has already managed to get himself a second gap on this first lap. Oh, it's incredible. Incredible scenes. Let's forget Alfioli is still close enough as Kieran Spears picks himself up a penalty. Second driver to do it so far this race. Cameron Young is just behind Sondre Sorhaug now. Can he make a move? Doesn't look like it. Brandon has got to get past Hamrick. There'll only be 5 points between them though, so it looks like Brandon, if he even gets second, he won't be able to do it as James gets past Jared. Jared hasn't even got damage, so something's gone wrong with Jared there. He's just not going quickly on those mediums. These soft tires are just so much quicker as it stands. Can Brandon take this move on Hamrick? No, he's just too far behind. Hasn't got his ERS taps open. Alfioli also doesn't look like he's going for a move. But behind, it looks like Paco on Kieran Spears. He's going to be going up the inside into first corner, except Kieran tries to go for a switch track. James has got out wide. He's going to go 3 wide into the second corner. Somehow Paco comes out on top. He said the Alfa Rail goes across the curb and across the tarmac. And now, look, he's trying to go for a move as well. Moving to the outside. James tries to go up the inside, sliding a little bit. Luke could take an opportunity to come into the S section. It looks like he will. He's going to be on the outside. James can concede the position. A bit more contact, a bit of jumping over the curbs as well, affecting him. James and Luke still side by side. Luke going up the inside, James on the outside. A little bit of a slide for Luke. Sends James past into 10th position. Luke has to concede on his medium, so soft tyres are just a little bit less slidey than the mediums as it stands. Cameron Young in 6th place, just behind Sondre. Relatively close. He's front 7, sorry. All very close to each other. Besides Lewis, who's currently running away 1.7 seconds ahead. Alfie has to drop at least 1 more position for the chances of Brandon winning this race. Winning this championship to be a little bit more likely, but it doesn't look like it right now as Brandon cannot get close to Hamrick. But Alfie is close enough to Brandon to make a move as Lewis takes fastest lap of this race off our Alfioli as he doesn't look like he's going to try and make a move into this first corner. He doesn't do it. But 8 laps to go, including this one. Alfie's very close. He pulls off the inside. Brandon, can he do anything to defend this position? Into the 4th corner. It's Alfie on the inside. Brandon on the outside. He's going to be on the inside for the next corner. No! Alfioli gets past. Back into 3rd position. Brandon has to sit behind again and watch his championship rival sit in front of him once more. He's probably had enough of looking at the back of that AlphaTauri. He just cannot do anything against it. Alfie is a quick driver today. He's a man on a mission, and he wants this championship badly. Lewis now 2 seconds ahead of Hamrick. All this fighting is dropping the back. Hamrick holding up these two just a little bit more. So Brandon, his chances are looking less and less likely as Kieran makes a move on Paco down the straight. Paco, surely he's going to try and go back on the inside. No, he doesn't. So aggressive moves today, except Cameron Young behind Sondre Sorhauk. He is close, and he is very, very hungry for that 5th position. But oh, a little bit of a mistake there from Sondre. He flies out to the right, losing his traction on the exit of that corner. This means Kevin Harrison, he could try and mount a move now as the AlphaTauri driver drops himself a little bit further forward for this constructors fight. So let's remember this, the Drivers' Championship isn't the only one on the line now, as Sondre picks up a penalty as well. Kevin Harrison, he's going to fly past, except Alfie Ali, he's going to go on the inside out. Brandon Glover behind him though, he's going to try and go for a move on the inside though. Oh, he doesn't quite do it. Hamrick, can he hold on to his 2nd position? He doesn't quite. Alfie Ali ahead, Brandon Glover behind. Alfie Ali goes into 2nd position. Hamrick in 3rd, Brandon in 4th. So there's our car between the championship rivals. Brandon, can he at least put himself on the podium for pride? It looks like he's definitely going to fight for it. He's right behind Hamrick. Jared sets the fastest lap of this race on his new fresh softs. Eddie fighting. Oh, he switches to the inside. What a move from Brandon Glover. Can Hamrick go back on the switchback? Yes, he can. He's going to get a good exit. It doesn't look like it's Brandon Glover. He's going to keep this position. He's moved up into 3rd position with a fantastic overtake on Hamrick. Brilliant stuff from him, Brandon. Now 9/10 behind Alfioli. If Alfioli could just get a couple of good exits, just pull away a little bit more, he can get outside the DRS range of his championship rival. 6 laps to go. Lewis leads this race as James overtakes Kieran Spears, except look who it is, Paco Suarez, always the most entertaining driver in this grid probably, overtakes Kieran to move up into 9th position. Great move from him. Matt Romano as well, as Kieran goes far, far, far out wide. Concedes another position to Luke on his mediums. Brandon is outside the DRS. He hasn't got it. Alfioli pulls a little bit further away. Brandon, it doesn't look good for him right now, but he's definitely faster on this straight. Look, he's taken 3/10 out of him already. Make that 4. Brandon hasn't given up just yet. He'll fight as hard as he can to try and take this off Alfie, but Alfie does not look like he's stuttering. He holds strong. Very, very, very strong. Very consistent from him today, but it can still all go wrong. Let's not forget, we've seen it a few times before, where somebody could spin, it all goes wrong, somebody else wins. Wow, it's still very exciting today, believe me. As Cameron, behind Hamrick, Hamrick's dropped a couple more positions into the clutches of Cameron Young to try and take that 4th position. Kevin Harrison still sitting strong in 6th though, coming from 14th position where he started. So not bad from him today, we love to see it. Paco's currently closest driver to another driver on the grid. Only a couple of tenths away from James, but will he be close enough to make a move? It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like his exit was quite strong enough to make a move on James. Interesting. We also haven't seen any spins since Thomas sent himself into the wall somehow. I mean, you never know, there could be an even later safety car to throw everything into the mix as Luke picks up 9 seconds of penalties now. As he just keeps going wide as Huntley. I don't know what he's doing, how he's doing it, because only 3 drivers on this grid so far actually have penalties. So, not quite sure how he's managing it. But he certainly is. Paco against James. James is now DRS. Paco doesn't look like he even needs ERS, or does he? James is still fighting for this position as Lewis gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Hang on, that changes everything as Paco dives up the inside of James into 8th position. He takes it, he saves a little bit of a wiggle on the exit, could put him in danger of getting overtaken again as James doesn't have the DRS, either of them do. He pulls to the inside after being in the slipstream, goes the inside, past him before the corner's there. Can Paco come back? Except the 2 drivers behind Matt Romano and Luke, the 2 Williams drivers are looking to fight them again, except Lewis getting 3 seconds. 3-second penalty changes this race just a little bit as Alfioli in the final race this season could take his final win of the season, with Brandon Glover behind him still powerless to change the result unless he can get that little bit closer. Lewis would have to gain another second to be able to keep this win. if you want to. It looks like Alfie is gaining on him, however. Cameron Young getting closer and closer to Hamrick, but never quite close enough to make a move. Hamrick isn't within DRS of Brandon anymore though, so on this main straight, it could be time for Cameron to make his move. He's got very low ERS, compared... they're both around the same, but low ERS. That means he can't blast it down the straight, but he can blast it down the straight with DRS. He pulls the inside. Cameron Young passes Hamrick. Can Hamrick come back? He tries to look for a move down the inside, but doesn't quite do it. Brandon is getting ever closer to Alfie Ollie, though. He has low DRS. Everybody low on ERS right now. So, it's getting harder for people to make moves. So you have a nice helicopter shot just to show how close Brandon is to Alfie, but still not quite close enough to make a move. Cameron Young, however, moving up into 4th position. Strong from him. Paco again past James again. These two love to have a little fight, don't they? These two have been at it all races. James again on the exit, switches back on the outside of the first corner of the F section. Just about squeezes out Paco to make a move again into 8th place to secure 4 points. Passes Paco, but Paco will not give up without a fight. We know him. This man is proud, and he will take pride in that 8th position. I'm sure he'll come back later on in this race. On this next straight, even Sandro with his penalty, even if he fights Kevin Harrison, I'm not sure how much it'll be worth. But also, hang on a second, I just realised, Cameron moving up into 4th position, getting himself 12 points. If Kevin can finish 5th, that'll be 10 for him. If he can close up to Hamrick. This means right now, 3 points difference. Hang on, I'm going to do maths. 7 points difference between Alfie and Brandon as it stands. As Sandro gets back past Kevin, hurting his chances again for points. As it stands right now, it looks like AlphaTauri are going to be the winners of this Constructors' Championship. Maths is so hard for me right now, except Brandon Glover is all over the back of Alfioli. Just cannot quite make a move. What's going to happen at the end of this race? Lewis still losing time to them though. Even if Brandon gets past, he won't be able to win this championship as James gets past oh my days, back past James Killer. Even if Brandon wins this race, he will not win the championship against Alfioli. He loses 2 points for pole position because there's no faster start for these two today, as Jared Fosbury again sets another faster start as he's pit again for even softer tyres. Maybe Luke will try and rain on that parade as he pits onto some fresh softs too. Kevin, he's going to try and get past Sandro. I was in the middle of trying to do maths just then, but he was making my life harder. I think Hamrick's also got past Cameron at some point. I'll do the maths after the race if I'm honest, because trying to do it with these final couple of laps, only 2 to go, will be too difficult. It'll all be done after the race. Except Brandon, he's close to Alfioli. He's going to be going around the outside down this straight. He's got the DRS. Alfie does not. Can Alfie do anything to try and take this position back off his championship rival? Brandon is in front now. Alfie could do nothing to fight it. Brandon takes the net lead of this race as Kevin Harrison gets past Sondre Sohaug at the back. Sondre, can he get back that 6th position? Maybe, just maybe. Doesn't know the way, except back to Alfioli, who's just behind. Brandon Glover cannot make the move. Brandon does everything he can. Alfie moves the inside. I just had a book drop off my sofa. That wasn't nice. But Brandon, very defensive on the inside. Alfie tries to swing around the outside and switch back maybe. Can he get the exit on Brandon? Doesn't look like it. Yes, he can actually. A late lunge. Almost somehow just got a little bit more traction in the later section of that exit. Somehow. Now he has the DRS on Brandon though. This means on this next DRS straight, the final time they go down this finish straight, will Alfioli be able to try and make a move on Brandon Glover? There's still plenty of opportunities later on in the track though, but this is the most important one for sure. He's definitely close enough with Brandon. No DRS for him. Already moving to the inside, trying to break that slipstream on Alfioli, except Alfie's definitely close enough to make a move. Surely he will. What can Brandon do to fight this? 30% each on the DRS. They both open it. Alfioli opens the DRS now. coming up behind Brandon. Brandon's just about ahead. He's got the IRL on, but he's going to fight everything he can. Jared crashes out of this race, retires. Alfie moves to the outside. Brandon to the inside. Can he do anything about it? No, Brandon keeps it again. Sorry. Oh, my throat is killing me. Alfioli coming up into the yellow flag station. Brandon moves very aggressively. They touch Alfioli. He's going to go around the outside. Brandon and cover on the inside. Somehow keeps it. Goes out one near the exit though. Alfie, he can still fight. He touches him on the back though. It's the S section. He can't make a move. He sits behind in third position now, which will be second position at the end of this race, unless these two make a massive mistake and Lewis can somehow take the race win. Oh my goodness gracious me, these two are so close. Alfie moves the outside again. Brandon moves the inside to defend his second place. Oh, Alfie tries to switch, man, can't quite do it. He has the arrest out though. Slipstream as well. Oh, there's hardly any arrest to fight with. Brandon moves over to the inside. He's going to have to go around the long way. He can't quite do it again. Brandon, not a good exit though. Alfie, a good exit, except he's hindered by this massive Aston Martin ahead of him. Brandon Glover makes his car as wide as possible, except he's still not over. As Alfioli tries to make a move, he goes to the inside. He can't quite get the exit. Brandon Glover still stays ahead of him. Alfie, it's the final corner, his final opportunity to overtake now. He comes to the DRS. He goes up the inside, he's going to make a move. Brandon Glover on the outside, they touch Brandon Glover on the outside. Alfioli running up to the line, the two title rivals coming up to the line. It's going to be Alfioli to win the championship against Brandon Glover. Incredible scenes. Alfioli is your IRL F1 title winner this season in IRL Season 12. An incredible final lap as Alfioli takes the title from Brandon Glover. Kevin Harrison finishing his 6th. AlphaTauri looks like they take the Constructors too, I believe. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Alfioli wins in Bahrain and wins the title. Kieran Spears, our final driver to cross the line. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history as Alfioli wins in Bahrain. He takes it home. He takes the greatest pride a driver could have as Matt Romano gets the game's driver of the day. But ladies and gentlemen, I think honourably, Alfioli has to take my driver of the day today. A solid, consistent race. As Lewis actually wins on track, I don't know when that happens. They must have such a big fight at the end. Lewis wins the race. Ah, Alfioli. Incredible stuff. But Brandon Glover, a valiant effort. Valiant effort. He did everything he could, but it was not to be. Alfioli stands strong as he stands proudly on that podium. A fantastic race from these lot. After an hour of racing, incredible scenes, some fantastic fights, action all the way through. They did not let me breathe. Alfioli lost the final race by 6/10, with Brandon only a 10th behind him. Cameron Young comes 4th, Hamrick in 5th, Kevin Harrison 6th, Sondre Sohaug 7th, James in 8th, Paco 9th, Matt Romano 10th, Kieran Spears 11th, Luke 12th, Jared 13th, Thomas, Edward, Ross and Ethan Payne all retiring out of this race with only 13 finishes. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed an incredible race, fantastically fought by everybody, and congratulations to AlphaTauri too for taking the Constructors, I believe. Hang on, let me do maths. 6th position gets 10 points, no, 8 points? 8 points compared to the 12 points, so that's 4. Wait a second. They have equal points. Who wins? I got so distracted by the drivers, I don't know who wins the Constructors title. Oh my god, hang on. Who has more wins? I think Aston Martin win the Constructors title today. Equal on points, as far as I can think. It looks like Aston Martin, Kevin Harrison and Brandon Glover take home the Constructors title. Wow, incredible scenes. Good God, we're going to be thinking about that one for weeks. I'm not sure if I'm meant to do interviews or not. I'm going to wait for confirmation. a sec. But at least Brandon Glover could take home some sense of pride today as he wins the Constructors. Unfortunately, not the drivers. He did everything he could, but it wasn't quite enough for him. Ah, okay, interviews. I have to invite a couple of people in. We're going to get Lewis, Brandon and Alfie in here. Incredible stuff. So this will take me a moment. Oh, sorry. I have to make an entire group with people. I can't just invite people to the party anymore. Tragic. This really is just a bit of downtime after this absolutely chaotic race. It's ridiculous. God, I can't believe it. Where is he? I'm so sorry. Oh, hello, Brandon. Give me a second as I add in Paul Lewis. I'll get to you in a second. Good God. I'm out of breath still. I was screaming on the final few laps. I was red in the faces. Oh, stupid stuff. I have to find Paul Lewis on my friends list. I don't have him on my friends list. Dearest Brandon, can you be kind enough to add Lewis? And also apparently, oh my God. He won't let me invite Alfie neither, or whatever. Oh, is he? Good man. He's been added. Okay, cool. Now we just have to wait for those other people to come into here. We'll wait. You know what? Anyway, Brandon, I'll interview now while we wait. After that very, very, very intense race, unfortunately losing the driver's title, how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling fine, honestly. It was a good race. Tried the best, but you know, at the end of the day, Alfie was just ahead and better because this, well, in that race, and he deserved it. And I'll try again next season. Yeah, that's it.
Fair play, that's a good attitude to have, but throughout the race it seemed like you were almost being conservative. You didn't really seem to make too many overtakes until those final intense few laps right at the end. Was that much of a strategy, or was it just you couldn't make any moves today?
Well, with the DRS, there's not really much point overtaking because it's not like you can pull away or anything. So I was just there saving, reserving, and then at the end, obviously I had to try and do something. My plan was to, well, like, push Alfie back out of 3 seconds from Lewis, and then I'll just try and get within the win. But that didn't work out in the end. But yeah, it's not like I was a bit slower as well, I think, than Lewis and Alfie. I think they were a bit quicker than me in the race, so I just had to try and stay with them. So it wasn't too easy to overtake if I wanted to as well, to be honest.
That's fair enough, and you definitely tried your best on the final few laps. What was going through your head as you're side by side with your title rival right at the dead of the race?
I don't know, nothing really, I was just focusing. And then I looked up and I was outside 3 seconds of Lewis myself. I was like, oh, I fucked it. So, Yeah, I mean, it was a bit disappointing, but it's like it's not like I was ahead and I've lost it. I was already behind. I already had the work to do, make up 9 points. So it would have been difficult to do anyway. But yeah, this was what I did.
Fair play, you tried your absolute best. But anyway, Alfie's in the party now. Alfie, you are our Season 12 Drivers Champion. How does it feel?
Very, very good, you know. I don't know, it's a bit anticlimactic, I think, because I wouldn't say I was expecting to win, but I think I was one of the favourites, so, you know, I think it's a job well done. You know, I can give myself a pat on the back, but yeah, I think focus on to next season.
Well, both of you are already looking to the next season, but anticlimactic after those final few laps. You stupid.
Brilliant.
No way. What was going through your head right at the end? Did you know you had it in the bag, or?
I did, and then the last 2 laps, Brand started to get a bit, I'd say, desperate, you know, trying to back me up into the cars behind and whatever. And yeah, you know, it gets the heart racing a bit, but I think I had it under control. As long as the cars behind didn't overtake, I think it was quite safe, and I had the pace to overtake if I wanted, but I decided to just sit there. But I think the last lap got a bit ridiculous with the moves, but you know, it's whatever. People are trying to win a title, you'll do what you can to win, won't you? But yeah, I mean, we won in the end, so si della grazie.
A very, very solid race from you. Well done on your championship win. Who else have we got in this party? Hang on. Who's next? Oh, dearest Cameron or Kevin. Our constructors winners. Either of you here?
I'm here. Yeah. I'm assuming Cameron's here as well, yeah.
Hang on, so correct me if I'm wrong, but Aston Martin won the constructors, right?
No.
No?
There was after quali there was a 5-point deficit for them, but like those of them beat one of us each, so
okay, I forgot about the 2 points.
Si, champion.
I see Cameron's a happy man.
Yeah, I barely finished this season. That's probably one of 5 races I finished this season.
And you're somehow taking the constructors home.
Exactly.
How does that feel?
I won the season for me, you know. Not even barely showing up, you know, teammate carrying me very hard, and I still win the constructors, you know. Amazing.
Absolute king. And how proud of you are your teammate, your Alfie Ollie, to win the drivers, you know, and also constructors.
It's a special partnership, you know, especially in IRL. The carrying sometimes, you know. He says it gets a bit too much, but deep down I really think that he does love me. You know, that's what teammates are there for.
Alfie, can you confirm?
I'm rough to deny these allegations, you know. he does need to retire.
I'll be back for next season.
Everybody's looking on to next season already. But the final man in the party, Kevin. Unfortunately, you lost the constructors today. But again, are you looking on to next season? Do you know who your teammate's going to be? Have you got any strategies that you're going to try and employ?
Well, if Bran was still up for it, I'd continue to be his teammate. I felt like it was a good partnership, to be honest. But yeah, it's kind of looking at next season. Just a point, I just checked there. They beat us by 2 points, so Alfie's pole was the deciding factor, you can say, in some ways. You know, beating us by 2 points. If you didn't get those 2 points, we would have beat them by 2 because it would have been Bran on pole instead. So that's how important that was. But next season, it's going to be a different game at this point. So obviously adapt to a new game. But I think if me and Bran were teammates again, we could fight for the championship again.
Good to hear. Everybody already looking to the new game. Everyone's resigned. 2021 has been already. What sad that life. But anyway, I guess that's the end for this very, very intense round 15 in Bahrain.
I would like to add something before we end off.
Oh, we'd like to add something.
A terrific season. I'd like to thank my teammate, but also, I'd like to shout out Ross Denham, I think it's possibly the worst driver ever.
Okay, that's enough from you, young man. We're going to end it here, but anyway.
He probably even turned ABS on and traction on, and he still spinned it.
Shush.
Thank you very much.
Good boy. Anyway, that's the end of season 12. Alfieri is our winner. AlphaTauri are constructors winners. Thank you all very much for tuning into this season, and thank you all for driving. Dear God, let my throat have a rest. I'll see you.